Hey guys, today I'm refinishing that upper and lower for that project. You guys saw me working on the AR-15. I've been slowly working on it last couple of months. I've just been buying a little bit here and there. I've been getting kind of low on money, so I haven't been spending too much time and effort on it. And today I decided I was going to refinish it. I originally planned to get it reparkerized, but the uppers and lowers are aluminum, so as far as I know, that kind of rules that possibility out. So I'll see what the barrel looks like when I get it. But anyway, I decided to get some DuraCoat, and I redid these in DuraCoat XM Gray. Let me see if I got it over here. Yeah. There you go, Colt Gray. And I'm okay with the color. I wish it was a little bit lighter. It looks a little lighter in this camera than what it looks like in person, but I'm happy with it so far. It was pretty close to the original color this upper was, so they'll all match. One of the things about DuraCoat, guys, that I don't like is the hardener you mix with it. It seems to be that if you add more hardener to it, it gets gradually glossier and glossier. And you have to add a certain amount of hardener to it to get it to actually work. So one of the problems is when you add appropriate amount of hardener, you sometimes get this. And this, it looks almost wet. It's got so much gloss in it. And I'm not really a fan of how that looks. It looks like it's been, like I said, it looks like it's got glass over it. And I don't really like that. So a nice trick I have found is after you've let it dry off, but it still hasn't started to harden, get you some double-aught steel wool and gently go over it. It will take a lot of that excess shininess off the surface without stripping the DuraCoat off. And instead you'll get a more flat color, and you'll still have the DuraCoat protection. Now don't go too hard or you'll end up scratching it like I did. You can see it right there. The pin is. Now for this one, that doesn't really bother me because these uppers were all, the upper of course you guys saw was all beat the crap up when I got it, and I kind of like that look, how it was kind of, you tell it was used, hence why I'm not so careful about what the surface of the paint looks like. I don't want it pristine. If I was doing this again and I wanted to make it look brand new, one, I would have had to buff out a lot of the pitting. You guys can see there it was still pitted, and I really just wanted to coat it so it would so it wouldn't rust anymore, but I wanted it to look worn, like it had been used. So if I was redoing this to be perfectly smooth, I would have sanded that all down to those pits and got them out of there. So that wasn't my intention. I wanted it to look, like it had been used before. So anyway, I'm going to work on this one, and I'll show you what all the parts look like when I get it all finished up. So you guys can see it's getting a little closer to what I want it to look like. But what I was going to say is, I'm trying to do this with one hand, sorry my tripod's broke, is don't push pressure on it. You'll strip the DuraCoat and the paint off, especially since it's not cured. Just lightly go over it, just apply it with a slight amount of pressure, just enough for the steel wool to start to kind of break up, and that's the amount of pressure you want. Anything too hard, you'll start taking the paint off. See, this is just pieces of the steel wool coming off. So make sure you don't use too much pressure. So there you go. That's much closer to what we were looking for. You can still see some of the wear spots. This spot here underneath the ejection port door, I just could not get anything to stick to you, and I was painting it without coming off. So whatever, it looks fine. As you can see, it's a little bit more of a weared surface, which I like a lot better. If you're going to do this, as I said, and you want it to make it look pristine, I would just say add just a flat layer with just a slight amount of hardener in it. Smooth the surface out, make it look perfect, and you'll get one that looks brand new. But that wasn't the look I was going for. I wanted for something a little bit more worn. There's still a couple places that are real glossy up here that I need to go and get in there, but you get the general idea. Oop. So that's it. Really, guys, my final thoughts on DuraCoat after having used it for about a couple years now in different projects. It's inferior to Cerakote in almost every aspect except application. It's much easier for someone who's very inexperienced to apply, which I like. It comes in a lot of colors. It's inexpensive, so it's probably I would say the least best but easiest to apply coat on the gun other than bluing. Requires the least amount of prep time. Overall, I'm not the least bit impressed with how hard or how well it holds up. It tends not to wear much better than regular plain old spray paint. So like I said, I like it because it's inexpensive, and if I'm doing an inexpensive cheap coating on something, it works just fine. But I've applied it exactly how Lauer's Weaponry has told me to do it on several things, and I'm not impressed with how well it wears. The Duracoat seems to last a little bit better, but really, when you get down to it, you really want to go get it for a hot blowing or good old-fashioned parkerizing if you want something that's going to last and hold up a lot longer. So that's my final thoughts. Just thought I'd write to you guys on this project, and hopefully next month we'll have a barrel and we'll start putting this thing together. See ya. Oh, and I almost forgot. I've already figured out and got the optic I wanted to get, so I don't have a barrel yet because I ordered it first because it was on sale. I'm gonna try out one of these Vortex Sparks. You know, a lot of people like them. They compare them to almost as good as the Aim Point. I think that's a bit optimistic, but this is the mini one. I'm gonna get a carry handle mount and mount it up there. And I'll expect a review from me pretty soon about this. We'll try it out and see how it goes. And yeah, it should be a pretty good matchup. I'll see you guys later.